Hey everyone! So, let's talk about your academic journal. It's way more than just a website, right? It's like a digital fortress, holding all this valuable research and the hard work of so many people, authors, reviewers, editors. And just like any fortress, it needs some seriously strong defenses. Today, we're not going to get bogged down in boring technical chores. Nope, we're talking strategy, we're talking vigilance, and we're talking about how to lock down your open journal system site from the ground up. You know, this quote really hits the nail on the head. Most security problems, they don't come from some deep flaw in OJS itself. They come from how we set it up and how we use it. This really sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. Security is a team effort. And honestly, the best defense you have is the people on your team being aware. Okay, let's get into our battle plan. We're going to use this fortress metaphor to guide us. First up, we need to understand the fortress itself, what we're protecting. Then, we'll build a rock-solid foundation on the server side. After that, we'll secure the castle walls, which is the site administrator's job. Then, we'll train the gatekeepers. That's your editorial team. And finally, we'll pull it all together and see why security is absolutely a team sport. So, before we start building walls, we need to get one thing straight. The OJS software itself is really solid. The actual weak spots, the vulnerabilities, they almost always come from how we, the users, manage the system. It really is on all of us. Every great fortress is built on solid ground. For your OJS site, that solid ground is the server. This is your first and most fundamental layer of defense. So let's look at the stuff that every journal manager absolutely needs to have locked down. These 5 things right here, they're the non-negotiables. This is the bedrock of your security. You want hosting that's specifically built for OJS, you need the right file permissions, and you gotta secure your PHP environment. That's the language OJS runs on. You also have to enforce HTTPS/SSL. That's what gives you the little padlock in the browser, and of course, regular backups. Think of backups as your ultimate undo button if things go wrong. But among all those crucial steps, there is one that is just a cut above the rest. One potential secret passage that, if you leave it open, could expose your most sensitive files. You absolutely have to seal this one shut. And here it is. That secret passage is your files directory. This is where all the good stuff is stored, all your manuscript submissions. Now, if this folder is sitting inside your public web directory, like public_HTML, a simple server hiccup could expose everything. The fix is so important. Move that directory outside of the public web root. It's a tiny change in your configuration file, but it gives you a massive security payoff. All right, our foundation is strong. Now it's time to look at the walls. This is where the site administrator comes in. Their job is to control who gets in and out and to keep the OJS system itself in good shape. Keeping OJS updated is super important. Why? Because those updates patch security holes that hackers are already out there looking for. But here's a pro tip. Don't just blindly jump on the newest major release, especially one that ends in a .0. Those can be a little buggy. You're much better off choosing a stable, tested version. Stability is just as critical as being up to date. Now, take a second and think about your own OJS site. Really think about this question. Look, plugins are great. They add all sorts of cool features, but every single one you add also adds complexity and another potential way for someone to get in. Do you know what every single plugin on your site does? More importantly, are you actually using all of them? And here's why that question matters so much. Every plugin you have increases what we call the attack surface. Basically, the number of doors and windows a hacker could try to break through. An old plugin you forgot about? That's an unlocked back door, just waiting. The rule here is super simple. If you don't use it, lose it. This leads us to a huge security concept, the principle of least privilege. It just means you only give people the minimum permissions they need to do their jobs, and nothing more. The site admin, they have the keys to the entire kingdom, so that role should be used as little as possible. An author, on the other hand, just needs to be able to submit their work. This simple hierarchy can save you a world of trouble if one user's account ever gets compromised. So we've built the foundation, we've secured the walls, now we get to the most dynamic part of our defense system, the people. The ones opening and closing the gates every single day. Your editors, your journal staff, they are your frontline gatekeepers. Their vigilance is what stops threats before they even get a foot in the door. So, what should your gatekeepers be looking for? Here's a quick checklist of red flags. A submission file should be something normal, like a .docx, not an .oxy file. If the title and abstract are just gibberish or the topic has absolutely nothing to do with your journal, that's a huge red flag for spam or worse. You've got to train your team to trust their gut and question anything that just feels off. And then you've got this classic attack, phishing. This is a perfect example of an email designed to trick you. See how it tries to make you panic? It creates this sense of urgency to get you to click without thinking. Just remember, the real OJS support team will never, ever ask for your password or tell you to log in through a link in an email, period. So, if you or someone on your team gets an email like that, the response is simple. It's this three-step drill. First, don't click anything, don't download anything. Second, take a screenshot of it. And third, report it up the chain to your journal manager right away. Reporting it quickly means your site admin can warn everybody else, turning a potential disaster into a simple heads up. Okay, let's bring this all home. Protecting your journal's digital fortress is not a one-person job. It's not just on the tech expert or the site admin, it's a coordinated effort. It really is a team sport, and everyone has a position to play. And this table sums up those positions perfectly. You've got the server admin, who builds that strong foundation. Then you have the site admin, who maintains the walls and manages who gets in and out. And finally, you have the editorial team, standing at the gates every single day, checking everything that comes through. When every person knows their role and does it well, the whole fortress is secure. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. You are a guardian of this fortress of knowledge. Security isn't something you set up once and then forget about. It's a constant state of watchfulness. So ask yourself and ask your team, who is standing watch at your fortress tonight? The answer has to be everyone.